Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Finally, we have a dry day. It's very cold, but it's dry. The roads are still a little bit greasy from what I can gather, but time to get on the bike and let's go for a wee ride. So today, just going to have a little chat about my journey to get my Category A licence. So, as you'll know if you've watched my previous videos, I passed my CBT the week, which was quite an experience. Must admit, 125s were a little bit on the gutless side. I decided to go straight for my Category A and do my DAS, despite the fact my Vosge is actually an E2 compliant bike. I want to future-proof because I probably will only take the Vosge for maybe a year. I'll probably put quite a lot of miles on it. And then I'll probably replace it with something with a bit more power. As what I'm going to replace it with in the future, who knows? I'll worry about that closer to the time. So I decided to do a lot of Google searching just to see what bike schools there was locally within the Glasgow kind of area and surrounding areas closer to me. And there's quite a lot of bike schools actually. So I chose the top 3 on Google. Done a lot of reading on the reviews, seeing what pass rates were, and sent them all emails. And one of them was a lot swifter on the emails, and the emails were a lot more detailed. So I decided to give them the phone, and straight away I hit it off with the instructor, a bit of banter, and I decided that was going to be the school that I was going to use, which actually was the same school I've done the CBT with as well. They actually done a full package for everything. Price-wise, I was quite surprised at the variances in prices between all the schools. So the school that I used, I paid $1,090 for my CBT and my DAS. That was including the Mod 1 and 2 test, which was a fairly reasonable price. Some of the other schools, there was as high as $1,475. Don't know if that's down to how frequent they change bikes or whatever. The bike I had on my DAS on was a 2-year-old Yamaha MT-07. Really nice bike, really enjoyed riding that. So yeah, so that's how I chose my school. That's what it cost me, $1,090, which when you consider the cost of driving lessons these days, in fact I started my DAS on a Sunday, and my Mod 1 test was on the Wednesday and my Mod 2 on the Thursday. It's not bad. So on the Sunday, the first day, we spent the day in the morning doing Mod 1 training, figure 8s, slaloms, U-turns, merge to stops, slow riding, all the kind of stuff you need to do on your Mod 1. And then in the afternoon we went out on the road, for me to use the MT-07, and basically so my instructor could get a proper look at where I am and see what bad habits I've got that I need to get rid of, because obviously I had been riding on a Philippine licence, and I'd picked up a lot of bad habits out in the Philippines. So on the Monday, we done the morning again, Mod 1 training. I was finding it a lot easier than I did on the Sunday, because I was getting more used to the bike, more used to the friction zone on the clutch, and more used to where the gear, hitting the gear shifter with my boots. And I was leaving the front brake alone a lot more, and relying on my rear brake a lot more on my slow speed manoeuvres. So that started to make sense, and I was finding it easier and easier, and my U-turns were getting better and better. In the afternoon, there was myself and another student, and we took it in turns leading, with the instructor giving us comments about what we were doing wrong, what we needed to do. The weather was absolutely stinky and it was raining, which didn't really help either. And then on the Tuesday morning we reversed it. We done Mod 2 training in the morning, mainly because the other student had his Mod 2 test. And then while he went for his test, usual, go to a snack bar van and get a nice big cheeseburger and onions and a coffee. And then in the afternoon, I was just solid Mod 1 test. I was finding no problems in the Mod 1 test at that point. I was managing to do all my manoeuvres a lot better. My swerves for the hazard avoidance were a lot better. And then my instructor turned around and told me, by the way, these distances are a little shorter than what you'll actually face on your test. He says, so we'll do a proper Mod 1 mock test and we'll set them at the correct distances. Wow, what a difference. It was so easy. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense to get you out in tighter spaces and to get you more used to the bikes you're handling. But once they spaced it out better, yeah, it was just so much easier. So we kind of got finished a little bit earlier that day, and he gave me some pointers on my own bike. And he says, use your own bike. He says, and when you go do the slalom in figure 8 and the U-turn, he says, stand up on the pegs, your knees in the tank. He says, and trust the bike. And you know what? It was so easy. I found it easier standing up than sitting down, and it gave me a lot of extra confidence in the bike. So that was really, really good. On the Wednesday, it was Mod 1 test. I had the first test of the day, so I was absolutely shitting it. My nerves were awake, buggery. We decided to meet up really early in the morning, 7 AM, and get an hour's training in before my test. But it was raining, it was freezing cold, and when we met up at the test centre, I just looked at him and I went, look, last night I finished on a high. I don't want to be going out riding in the rain, getting miserable, fed up, soaking wet. Obviously I had waterproof gear and my Calgary 2 stuff's waterproof anyways. But it would have changed my mood and then I wanted to keep that high. So I turned around and I said, look, can we just go and get breakfast? Get a nice couple of rolls and sausage, a cup of coffee, 10 minutes, warm the bike up, heat the brakes up, just get used to doing the emergency stops and swerves again, and then let's just go and get the test done and over with. And if I fail it, I fail it. If I pass it, I pass it. Anyway, that works for me. So, went to do the test, straight in. And my nerves were all over the place, but I just remembered everything he had taught me and everything he had been saying to me. And do you know what? I actually thought Mod 1 was very easy. And I was well surprised. I just focused, remembered my observations, remembered my lifesavers, and I just got on with it. And at the end there, as I drove out the gate, the examiner came up, gave me a fist bump, he went, well done, aced it. And I was so relieved. Wow. Having never been in a test condition like that for a long time. Yeah, the feeling of passing it straight away first time, it was quite a feeling. So at the end of it, yeah, I've got my mod 1 certificate, etc. My instructor turned around and went, how do you feel? I says, fine. I says, let's just knock it on the head for the rest of the day. I says, I don't think I'll really be able to focus on anything. I says, I'm so on a high. I says, it's probably best to just kind of come back down to earth for the rest of the day and meet up early tomorrow, go get an hour's ride in before my mod 2 and go for it. And he went, alright, he says, that works. He says, and that's probably not a bad idea. He says, because you tend to find after someone passes the mod 1, their mind's not fully on it. So that's what we done. And then the Thursday morning, we didn't go out for a full hour, we only went out for 40 minutes. He basically done a mod 2 test, mod 2 mock with me. And we got back at the end of it, and he was like, that's some of the best riding you've ever done. He says, do that. He says, and do you know what? He says, you'll nail it. But again, the nerves kicked in. As soon as the examiner walked out, that was it. My backside just collapsed, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I kind of took that attitude again. If I fail it, I fail it. I'll just reset it. If I pass it, hallelujah. Had I failed it, it's not as if it was going to impact me with my Filipino bike license. It wasn't going to stop me getting out riding. But obviously, if I passed it, it was a case of phoning the insurance company and I would get some of my insurance premium back. So, went out to the bike, read the number plate, thing to do for the eye check, and the examiner said, right, get on the bike. He says, I'll get myself set up, and we'll test the columns, and off we go. But thankfully, my examiner, I don't know if it made a difference or not, he wasn't following me on a bike, he was following me in a car. So I don't know if that made it a little easier or not. It certainly, because he was in just a normal car, I felt more relaxed. I was starting to get a lot more relaxed. So I was comfortable with that. So off we went on the mod 2, and wow, longest 40 minutes of my life. I had a little bit of a wobble on a set of lights. I forgot to use my indicators coming off a roundabout. I didn't do my lifesavers, and it was straight through a roundabout, and there wasn't a first exit on the left, so I was kind of hoping I'd maybe just pick up a minor for that. But at that point I kind of accepted that there was a chance I had failed it. So I just got on with it and done my ride like I had been, and just treated the columns as a bad sat-nav, giving me directions. And we got back to the test centre, and my instructor came out and he went, what do you think? I said, I think I buffed it. He went, really? I said, I think so. I says, at the very least I picked up a couple of minors. I says, but I don't know. And the examiner came over and I went, right, let's go inside. He says, keep your helmet on just now. He says, we'll go inside. So we went inside, took me into this wee office, took my helmet off, took the comms out, and he turned around and he went, well, what do you think? I says, well, I had that wee wobble at the lights. I says, I forgot a signal coming off that at the roundabout. He went, correct. He says, I gave you a minor for both. He says, congratulations, you passed. He says, I will give you a little bit of advice though. He says, see when the traffic light's red, he says, just got to stop. He says, don't start from about 100 metres away from the lights. He says, and just go slowly towards the lights, so they're going to change. He says, just got to stop. He says, what you did isn't wrong. He says, but there's always a risk of somebody cutting in front of you. He says, so it's something to take forward in the future. So yeah, I was absolutely elated. I just couldn't believe it had passed, and I felt like getting out of the car park and doing a cartwheel. So yeah, went outside, had some photos with my instructor, and there was another boy as well. was he went out for his test, so I had a cup of coffee and a burger and stuff, and waited till he came back. He passed his as well, so it was a great morning all round.
It was quite an experience. I really enjoyed the experience.
I learned from it as well, despite the fact I have been riding bikes in the Philippines and in the UK. I learned about my own bad habits. I learned some handy tips from my instructor as well. So all in all, whilst £1,090 is a lot of money, I think it's a worthwhile amount. I do think it's really hard on new riders, because by the time you add your insurance cost as a new rider, and I did learn one tip on that, don't tell the insurance company you're going to do 10,000 miles a year, because it will increase your premium. And the bonus was, when I phoned the insurance company up when I got back home and told them I'd passed my DAS and all the rest of it, I did get a few £100 back off my premium, so that was really good. And when you consider the cost of buying riding gear as a new rider, especially in the UK when you've come from a tropical country, your gear here is so different because you're meeting thermals and all the rest of it. That kind of helped take the sting out of that. So yeah, so that's me. Full Cat A licence. Ready to go. I've just got a few things I want to do on the bike before biking season really starts. I want to get a nav system installed and some heated grips installed, and a few other little bits and bobs, which we'll go over in the next video. But yeah, so that's my journey to my Cat A licence, and I will catch you in the next video. So until the next video, take it easy, ride safe, speak soon, cheers.